We hope you don't have cancer, but if you do, this show's for you. The Stupid Cancer Show!
Hey guys, we're back on the Stupid Cancer Show. My name is Matthew Zachary, founder and CEO of Stupid Cancer. We are joined by Jordan Mendelson here on the show today as part of our PharmaHumans. This show is made possible by our good friends at Pfizer. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You are here because you didn't want to be here.
That's exactly right.
This is the show no one wants to be on.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I made it.
Yeah, you know you made it when. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So Jordan was diagnosed with Non-Hodgkin Lymphoma, which is called the hockey of cancer, NHL.
Which I just found out today.
It's a dad joke, but it really isn't a dad joke. And, we're here to tell your story, and it's not a unique story because young adult cancer is a thing, and we want to just drive home the fact that we still matter.
Right.
Because we're not little kids, we're not in the older segmentation, but we're different. And when you get sick when you're not 80 and not 8, it's completely out of the realm of people considering.
Right. You don't fit into the peds category, but you're not really like an adult yet,
no,
technically, so it's tough.
So I guess my first question was, life at 23, normal, happy, frolicking, all the things. Did you were you like
a little less frolicking and a little more school, but
well, are you like one of those like 9 master's degree people?
So I'm on my way to medical school right now. I'm going through med school interviews and everything.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor.
What kind of doctor? There are many,
Yeah, I've heard. I don't really know exactly what specialty I want to get into yet, but I think I want to do some type of surgery.
So has cancer skewed your interest in the oncology or surgical oncology space, or you want to be safe and go like the, moles?
I don't think that it's necessarily impacted my aspirations, but I think that my experience with cancer kind of, it made me sort of think about like the doctors around me at the time and see like little things that I wanted to pick up from each of them.
So you were already in med school when you got sick?
No,
or
so I'm still not in med school, unfortunately.
You're on, what are you on, like the
I'm going through interviews and things right now.
Oh,
so I'm like doing the application year.
All right, so this is your official recommendation.
Yeah, please accept me.
Yes, accept him. Please just accept Jordan. So, all right, so how did you find out? Was it like itchy skin or a bump or a lump? Like, what was that?
So I would say in around September of 2016, I was in the shower. I thought I felt something in my left armpit. It was tiny.
It's always the armpits.
It is that's what I get a lot. So I started telling the story, and someone said the same thing. Yeah. So it was so small that I wasn't even sure it was really there.
Right.
So I kind of just let it go. I told my parents about it. They tried feeling it also, and they said they didn't feel anything. They thought I was crazy. So fast forward a couple months, I guess. It was December. I just finished my first semester of the post-bac pre-med program at Columbia. And
not that there's a good time for this to happen.
Yeah, no, right. But this could have been like the worst time, I think. So I just finished my first semester. We were on vacation in Iceland last December.
Because if you're going to get sick in Iceland.
Yeah, exactly. And I was in the shower again, and I, randomly just reached to my armpit again, and it was there. It had gotten a lot bigger, and at that point, it was kind of unmistakable that something was going on.
Right.
So we got home, and then I went to the doctor and got it checked out.
Who's we, by the way?
I was on vacation with my family. I have an older brother and my parents, and there's another family that we always travel with almost every year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mishpach.
Yeah. So.
That means family in Yiddish.
Yeah, thank you, because I actually didn't know that.
All right, well, there you go.
I
just revealed myself.
Learn something new every day.
Fantastic. So let's talk us through what your family went through. I was diagnosed in the Stone Age 23 years ago, and my family obviously like, oh my God, what on earth is this? What do we do? We're here all these years later. Cancer's kind of like a thing now. The world knows about it. What was it like for your family?
So when I first had my lymph nodes biopsied, the surgeon actually told us that the fear was lymphoma, and to be quite honest, none of us knew what lymphoma even was.
Right.
It's not like, any other type of cancer that has the word cancer in it. It's a lot harder. You actually have to learn what it is. Yeah. So we looked it up and everything, and obviously we realized that it was cancer, and we tried staying positive and everything, but finally once the pathology report came back and we realized it was cancer, I think that my family kind of took it the hardest, and I would have in their shoes too, because I knew that my life sort of became simpler. I just had to listen to what the doctor said.
You had your lane.
Yeah, it was, and I couldn't stray from it, and it was almost comforting knowing that fact. I I was going to do what they told me to do, and it was pretty simple. They had to kind of pick up the pieces.
So we call that survivor guilt. When we feel bad for everyone else feeling bad for us.
Right. And I sort of still have it. Anytime someone asks me how I'm doing and everything.
You just learn to manage it.
Yeah.
But that speaks to also something unique about young adults, which is not survivor guilt, but how, you're in your 20s and 30s. You could be in high school or college. The last thing in your mind is, how does this affect my family? Right. Because you're just trying to live your life and do your things.
I was just trying to get through the program that I was in, and that was the only thing before my diagnosis.
Paging Dr. Mendelson.
Almost.
Dr. Mendelson.
Soon enough, I hope.
Yes.
But up until the actual diagnosis, I was just, my sole focus really in my life was getting through my pre-med program and actually getting onto med school. And then that sort of changed overnight.
Did you in any way see this as like, how dare this get in my way? I want this to be a speed bump.
Honestly,
but that's how I felt. I was 21. I'm like, what is this? Whatever.
For about 10 seconds.
Okay.
When I first my surgeon called me. I was home alone, and I didn't know what to do, and I let myself feel sorry for myself very, very quickly. And then I sat on my bed for probably 2 minutes, realized that I wasn't the only person that had to know this. I needed to share the bad news with everybody else.
Right.
So I called my brother, called him first.
Older or younger?
Older, 3 years older.
All
so right. I didn't want to deal with my parents right away. I don't know why. I wanted to tell my brother first and kind of see just kind of gauge his reaction, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then he asked if I wanted him to tell my parents, but I said, no, I need to do it on my own. So then I called them one by one, and yeah.
Wow.
Interesting day.
So here we are.
What,
like I'm doing math in my head.
Almost 2 full years later.
Yeah.
January of 17.
And what's going on?
You're
here.
I'm here. So
evidence to the no, not really, but
so I finished my post-bac program at Columbia, and I'm going through med school applications right now. I have some interviews lined up, and next year med school.
Have you been single this whole time?
Single this year.
I mean, I'm not trying to pry. We talk about how it's hard enough being normal and healthy and dealing with relationships in your 20s. Tackle this on.
No, so I was in a relationship when I was diagnosed, and basically throughout the entire fight with my lymphoma. So it certainly threw an unexpected curveball into that, and it didn't make things easier.
We have so many stories of people that stuck through it, people that abandoned you, friends that abandoned you. Did you experience any of that?
So I wouldn't say abandoned. There were certainly, I definitely looked at the positive side of it more. There were my parents, my family always says that there were friends that really stepped up to the plate. We're a baseball family. I don't know if you could tell.
Sports.
So yeah, there were some friends that, obviously really, really came through, and it just made my life so much easier, and it was so comforting. I don't know about abandoning me, but yeah, there were some friends that didn't do as much, or didn't do anything, and it's just now right?
Well, my point of reference, obviously, from 23 years ago, is cancer was like a hush campaign back then. You whispered it, and people thought you can catch it. It was contagious.
Yeah.
It's cancer, not cooties. That should be a T-shirt. Cancer, not cooties.
Cancer, not cooties. I'd buy that T-shirt.
Well, we already shop at the same store,
absolutely.
So clearly we just make the shirts. So I want to just talk a little bit about how we deal a lot with, like, fertility is a major tentpole of young adult cancer, because it's a point in life where you are in your fertile years. You can choose to do what you want in those fertile years, but cancer can directly impact that. Were you made aware?
Yeah, so
that's a good thing then.
Yeah, I was made aware. My first consultation.
Found one.
Yeah, my first consultation with my oncologist, he explained the ramifications, the potential ramifications of the treatments that I was going to undergo. So he said.
Wait, were you in pediatrics or adult oncology?
I was in an adult oncology. Okay. So he did talk to me about it. He wasn't very concerned about it. He said it was a very small percent chance that fertility would be an issue at all going forward. I sort of heard that and freaked out about it because, having kids is something that I've always wanted, and I didn't want to take that chance. So I went through, I did sperm banking and, that kind of stuff, which I've never talked about before, but it did happen.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Well, I'll make it even weirder. My mom drove me to the sperm bank.
Oh, my dad drove me to mine.
That's better. Come on.
Maybe a little.
Win. Your mom?
Maybe a little.
Your dad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he sat in the waiting room. It's still weird.
Well, yeah, that is generally weird. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah.
It was a weird situation. But I mean, everyone kind of understood the gravity of it. So there was only like one joke about it, which in my family is really saying something, because we go through everything with humor. So one joke is
Well,
like
that's
pretty
the
much like
thing.
nothing.
Everything was all hysterical. Like, it's too serious to take seriously.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about crushing isolation, which is a huge thing. Again, I felt it 23 years ago. It's still a thing today.
It's definitely a thing.
Because we're so rare. You know, you don't see a lot of teen, 20, 30-somethings getting cancer. We're like 7% of all diagnoses out there. It's not like you're going into a waiting room and you're seeing a bunch of 20-somethings getting cancer.
I was the only one in my waiting room.
I was with geriatrics when I was getting treated.
Yeah.
Actually, I was in geriatrics for my radiation, but pediatrics for my diagnoses.
Wow.
So I was with little children, little
Right.
bald kids, and then I was with all the geezers. No offense to geezers. We love our geezers. Hi, Dad. Sorry. But to that extent, you know, were you, and we always talk family and friends are amazing, but it's different to find somebody who knows what that's like. And did it take you long? Were you made aware? How did you possibly get connected to a young adult community, if at all?
So I wasn't really connected at all, and that was sort of okay in my situation. You know, I still am living with my parents, so it sort of made it a little bit easier. Not that,
But you're going to be a doctor, which is okay, right?
right. So, you know, the whole relationship with my parents had to go through a little bit of a change.
Sure.
Obviously, going through all this, where they saw, you know, constant caring, I saw a little overbearing, you know, but we both had to kind of adjust to the new reality. And we did. It took a little bit of time, but we definitely did. Outside of that, I think that, you know, my friends were really omnipresent, you know, all the time. So it sort of made my life a lot easier. You know, yeah, there's certain times where you do feel isolated. I remember when I was going through my treatments, I had chemo the day of the Pearl River St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is my town's biggest day of the year, really. You know, it's famous around New York, and it's just a huge event. I was sitting in the hospital all day getting chemo.
Right.
All my friends were, you know, in our group chats, we're talking about going out to the bars and stuff like that, and I was sitting in the hospital with my dad.
They should have took a GoPro and put an iPad on a broomstick.
It would have
in
made
front
it a
of you
lot
in the
easier.
hospital.
And then at least instead of watching like March Madness that day, I could
Right.
watch the St. Patty's Day Parade.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I bring it up is because, you know, this organization, Stupid Cancer, exists to end isolation. First and foremost, that was our charter from day one, is no one should feel like they're the only 20-something, 30-something getting sick, and it's really hard to connect those dots. So we very proudly, after 12 years, become a very large community, and we're here to find out where are the gaps. You know, because it's not about forcing community down your throat. It's really like the if you're ready, when you're ready, here are choices for you out there. I mean, so this is your first real entry into young adult cancer community stuff?
Yeah, this is definitely my first entry into the community stuff.
Go big or go home, dude.
Yeah,
Come on the show
that's
here.
the idea. I think that I wasn't ready. I think even if I had been offered this opportunity then, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I'm a kind of stubborn person, and I like doing things on my own, and I'm very independent. And this was sort of, you know, I was dealt this hand, and I just needed to deal with it. And when it was done, it was done.
Good stuff, good stuff. No, the reason I bring that up today, because, you know, in the Stone Age, there was like, you know, mortars and pistols and rocks and things to bang for your attention. And today, it's such, social media didn't exist even when we started 10 years ago. We rode the wave. We were on like MySpace and Friendster and Facebook way back in like 2007, and what it's become. You know, now there's like mobile communities and chat groups and all sorts of other ways to take advantage of being, you know, finding people like you, finding your peer community in niche platforms out there. You know, we have a mobile app. There's an app called Pfizer has an app called, tell me again.
Living with.
Yes, the Living With. My apologies to Pfizer. The Living With app is really, really important because they actually talked to people like us.
Right.
Not like, hey, we're going to build an app and hope people use it. If you build it, they will come model. They actually brought together people to learn what's important to patients, and the isolation stuff is really important.
Right, and I think so that app actually came out when I was done with treatment, so I didn't get a chance personally to actually use it. But I think I've looked through it, and I sort of wish that I had access to it during the time, because it has a little section of it where it's called My Circle, and it allows basically patients to, you know, when you get diagnosed with cancer, and you probably know this better than most people I talk to about
Why?
this.
What happened to me?
Back in the Stone Age, remember?
Chemo brain. Right?
Chemo brain's a real thing.
Oh my God, yeah.
It sucks. But you know, when you're diagnosed, everyone around you says, if you need anything, let me know. But then the onus is on you to say, what do I need,
Right.
and when do I need it, and who can I ask? And how do I ask that,
Right.
right? It's like it's almost an awkward spot to.
So you put things out there for people to know
So
what you need.
the app actually gives you an opportunity to say, I need a ride to an appointment, or I can't get dinner tonight.
How about I need a hug?
That should be a new section
We'll
of the
add
app,
that,
right?
yeah.
Request the hug, but it allows your circle of caregivers and peripheral caregivers to actually offer to sign up for that
Right.
specific thing, which I think is hugely valuable.
No, that is big. And it goes back to awareness of resources and
Right.
choice when you're ready.
Absolutely.
Again, it's astonishing that even today, in this modern age, you want a toaster, to go to Amazon and buy a toaster, but you just don't know about as many resources as there are. Of course, there are so many good ones, and I feel like the ones that didn't make the cut are really, it's like consumer choice.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And it's little things that can make a patient's life a tiny bit easier for one day.
Right.
I mean, it's worth it.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, this is what the show is all about. It's really important to continue to highlight that we're not better or worse than other populations. We're different. It matters. We need to be treated age appropriately. We deserve rights and choices. Man, Jacob Mendelson, congratulations. What'd I say?
Jake.
Brain damage. I could play the cancer card on my own show.
Yeah.
Jordan Mendelson. Should I B-roll that? We just
Yeah, maybe.
pretend that we're
Yeah.
chatting and
Yeah, we'll go back to that.
Jordan Mendelson.
Yeah.
Jordan Mendelson, a mensch, another Yiddish word here on the show, a good boy.
See, I've
Good
heard that
boy.
one before.
Yeah, okay. Well, you should have. If your parents haven't called you a mensch yet, then they owe you a
Mostly
mensch.
grandparents, I think.
All right, even better, even better. But thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story, talking about all things, and welcome to the club that no one wants to belong to, but once you're here, you are family.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for welcoming me to the club, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, there you have it, folks. Another phenomenally exciting, says me, exciting episode of the Stupid Cancer Show. We'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye. Hey, friends. Thank you again for watching our show. Please subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified, and remember, the Stupid Cancer Show is brought to you by Stupid Cancer. We make young adult cancer suck less. Online, 24/7 at stupidcancer.org.